I think YouthLink mainly taught me the way I want to live for the rest of my life. It basically showed me that it's possible to live authentically yourself. The world is beautiful and people are good, and we really do have the power to change things.
YouthLink has taught me how to love myself, to love others, and to love service. Without YouthLink, I wouldn't have all this joy in my life.
I do a lot of environmental work, and before I found YouthLink, I wasn't seeing any progress or any change happening. I just kind of was in this mindset that really only people with like a lot of power could make change, like only huge politicians or like people with a lot of money. Your impact only mattered if you won like a Nobel Prize or something like that. A 15-year-old girl from Utah is not going to do anything to like stop climate change. Why would they try?
Before YouthLink, I remember feeling like numb and like empty. And like it felt like there was like no one inside of me and like I was completely gone. I also was trying to figure out who I was. I had a hard time accepting myself. I had a very inward focus because the only thing I cared about was me. I didn't see other people or other parts of the world. I was in my own bubble. So I didn't know that there was a life outside the life that I was already living.
At this time in my life, I feel like I just wanted to kind of find a purpose and be able to use like my skills and who I am to do something that's like outside of myself. I was doing a ton of research on a bunch of different service organizations, and I found YouthLink, and I really liked their focus on like human connection and sustainability, something that's ethical and practical that can be used for a long period of time. So instead of like a handout, it's a hand up.
YouthLink's mission is to create lifetime humanitarians. It is not a pay and grow program to go 2 weeks abroad. It is a lifestyle change. It takes time and effort and a dedication to service.
YouthLink's really different from all the other organizations because you have to do local service before international service. So you do 80 hours of local service at a main service site and build connections there before you go abroad.
I started seeing things to shift once I started volunteering full-time. I started volunteering at this daycare, and just like being like around the kids is like I felt so much love for them. Every time I showed up to volunteers, they were so excited to see me. So it's like I had to start showing up for them. I had to be there for them.
Unlike so many other places, YouthLink has this formula that they use to really help you fall in love with yourself and the world around you, which is so hard to do in today's time. Working with the special needs kids within my high school really impacted how I see the world and how I interact with it. There's so much power in just connection because we're both human.
I discovered love for myself by being able to show love to other people. And I can celebrate our differences and recognize our similarities. YouthLink just gives you perspective. I've been on 3 international trips. I've been to Kenya, Nepal, and Cambodia. In Kenya, we volunteered at the schools and we taught English lessons. In Nepal, I was on the health committee and I taught CPR lessons and participated in the health fair. Then in Cambodia, I taught women how to sew, and I also did the Days for Girls program where we taught about women's health.
In Vietnam, we were able to plant like 450 trees within the village and install water filtration systems into 25 homes. In Thailand, we made an irrigation diversion system right next to the school. So where water would go flood the boys' dormitory, it instead would be used for their big water tank, which they could use for drinking and washing hands and stuff.
YouthLink is different than other organizations because we have so much contact with the communities before we even go overseas. We really find out what that community wants and what they need from us. When we build something, it's like we're using the tools that they already have there. We're not bringing over our stuff. We do it in a sustainable way that the community over there can upkeep. YouthLink is not volunteerism, or it doesn't have any hero mentality, because you really go into this village and you are committed there and you're there for an extended period of time and you really get to make the connections and you work alongside the people that are already there.
YouthLink really helped me to understand that individually we really do have the power to be able to make an impact on the world. I was able to surround myself with a team of people who cared about making a difference and cared about connecting. And it just kind of opened my eyes, realizing how many people actually do care about making a difference. I feel like the biggest moment I had where I learned that I genuinely could make an impact in the world is when I did become friends with the special needs girl within the village in Vietnam, and I was able to kind of bring her into the classroom and hang out with her. I think it was definitely a full circle moment for me, kind of starting 2 years ago, being a peer tutor and working with special needs kids, then coming to Vietnam with everything I know and all the skills that I've gained. I left that village knowing that she'd be able to participate with other students and interact in new ways she hadn't been able to. And I realized that individually, you can make change. You don't have to do some big crazy thing. Just being a friend or lending a hand goes a long way, and we all have the power to do so.
When I was in Cambodia and we're getting ready to leave the school, one of the kids came up to me and was giving me a hug, and she was just like repeating like thank you, and she was crying. And in that moment, like it kind of clicked. I looked around the school and I could see all like the work that we did and the progress that we made and how much that really does affect her. That moment really changed the way I look at myself, because it's not the feelings I have about what I did, it's how it affects other people. In that moment, I knew that I would be volunteering or doing some type of humanitarian work for the rest of my life.
YouthLink gave me my spark back. It taught me how to pursue my passions. It kind of sets you up for life with these new perspectives and these new ideas to kind of have the courage to go out there on your own and strive for making a difference or strive to do good.
When I see myself now, I think of what I can do. I can use what I've been through to help other people. When you get out of your own circle, you're able to see all these other people and how little it takes for them to have a smile on their face and run around and be laughing.
YouthLink actually cares about like changing mindsets and really helping people learn how to be humanitarians instead of just get to be a humanitarian for a few weeks.